Listen up. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast belong solely to the podcast participants, and not to any participant's employer, organization, committee, or other group or individual. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. You know, for fun. So lighten up and enjoy. Hello, Stomping Jen.
Sawtooth, Rick.
Here you are.
Here I am.
Captive. Once again.
Captive?
Captive to the Soft Serve podcast. That look.
What?
I would rather be anywhere else, doing anything else with anyone else. That was a big yawn.
It's okay.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's do it.
Okay.
Shall we?
Mm-hmm.
The Soft Serve Podcast. Creamy, delicious ideas without the creepy truck. Why don't I feel like singing anymore?
Because I've driven it off of you.
Huh. Is that like I've internalized the abuse you've given me about my singing?
That's right.
Why do you hate my singing so much?
I don't hate your singing.
How do you feel about it?
It's just annoying.
Okay. You need to talk a little bit louder, okay?
Right off the bat. There we go.
This is literally like our 190th something episode.
Great.
So just giving you a gentle reminder.
Thanks, friend.
Okay? That microphone in front of you, even as expensive as it is, can't pick up noise if you're just croaking and whispering.
I don't just croak and whisper. Thank you very much.
All right, well, that's what it sounded like to me. A croak and a whisper.
Thing.
How did this cat get in here?
I don't know.
All right, well, this is the week after Passover and Easter.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
The week after?
Yeah, this is the week after Passover and Easter.
Okay.
What's Passover again? Let's remind people.
Passover is a historical holiday, Jewish holiday.
Uh-huh.
Where we talk and reminisce and remember about the exodus of the Jewish people from Egypt when they were slaves, and the 13 plagues happened.
Right.
Like the 10 Commandments. The movie, I mean to say. Was that Charlton Heston?
Charlton Heston, right. And we commemorate those plagues through the dinner.
Well, we don't commemorate the plagues. We tell of the plagues, the story
right.
of the plagues.
We remember the plagues.
Right.
Through the Passover dinner.
Yes.
And there's 2 of them.
Yes, they're called Seders, which means order in Hebrew.
Yeah. This year in 2022, they occurred on Friday and Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And Easter was on Sunday.
Easter, yeah. You don't have a lot of experience with Easter.
No, we've talked about this in previous Eastover episodes.
Now, I will tell the story of Easter.
Okay.
If you want to know.
Go ahead.
So Jesus, who was Jewish, was at a Passover dinner.
Yeah.
Right? And they were serving rabbit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They ate that.
That sounds delicious.
And one of the rabbits was not fully cooked. And it jumped off of the table and it bit Jesus in the throat.
Ouch.
And Jesus bled to death.
Oh, lovely.
Right. So they took Jesus, they tied him onto a cliff.
A cliff?
Right? Yeah, out in the desert.
They tied him onto a cliff?
Yeah, out in the desert.
Are you talking about a cross?
No, a cliff.
A cliff?
This is the story of Jesus. So they tied him up on a cliff Out in the desert. The vultures came and ate him, right? So he was internalized in about 5 different vultures. Then 3 days later, all of the people who were Jesus's in his
Disciples.
gang, right? In his gang, were gathered around the base of the cliff, looking up at Jesus's bones, right? And they were like, "Oh, we really miss Jesus. I guess he's not the Son of God." Then all of a sudden there was a giant flash of light in the sky, and the 5 vultures came down. They fused into one ball of light, and out of that ball of light emerged Jesus.
Hello? Hello?
That's the story of Jesus. That's how I remember it.
What about eggs?
Eggs? Well,
You missed that part.
one of the features Jesus retained from being composed of 5 vultures now was being able to lay eggs.
Great.
And so Jesus walked around, and whenever he had a bit of wisdom to give, he would squat down, he would lay an egg, right?
And give it to you like a fortune cookie?
Yeah, one of the apostles would come and crack it open.
And read like the tea leaves?
And would read the tea leaves. Inside were the tea leaves.
Where does the Easter rabbit come into play?
Well, that's to remember the rabbit that jumped off of the Passover table and bit Jesus in the throat.
Oh.
That's what that signifies.
What about chocolate?
What about chocolate?
There's lots of chocolate consumed.
Everyone
on Easter.
likes chocolate. That's all.
Oh, that's it.
It's just a reason to eat chocolate.
Oh. When isn't a reason to eat chocolate?
All the time. We'll get into that. But so anyways, that's the story I remember. If anybody out there remembers something different, feel free to reach out to us and let us know. But that's how I remember the story of Easter. So that happened. Busy weekend with all of the celebrating of those holidays. Now we've talked about this week after week here on the podcast. We all know you're running for re-election. So I just wanted to check in with you to see if you have a re-election update. How is the campaign going?
It's very slow. Very slow.
Okay.
Yeah. I've not done anything.
Okay, when will you start doing something? This is the 3rd week you've told us now that it's very slow.
It is very slow.
Isn't the election in just over a month?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming there's going to have to be some campaigning.
Yes.
So when is all of that going to happen? Walk us through the plan. Are there going to be standouts and that sort of thing?
Yeah. Sure. That sounds like a good idea. Probably should get on that. I got to get my signs out.
Right.
All that kind of stuff.
What does that look like? Do you distribute those to people? Do they come and pick them up? They put them on their lawns?
I don't remember how it happened last time. But yeah, there was some sort of means by which people said you can put a sign on my lawn. And I have a limited number of signs, so I really just want to put them on supporters of mine that live on main roads where they can be seen, or like roads that people travel on.
Okay, I haven't seen a single sign yet for you.
Well, it's because I've only given one person a sign and the rest of them are in our basement.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have one in our yard, so you should get on that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, probably would be a good idea. I can get a few of them out.
All right, well.
I'll get them out, and then I'm sure there will be a newspaper article where they'll ask me a bunch of questions, and there will be a cable, BCTV usually does a candidates night.
Right.
And people might write into the paper to support my re-election. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, good luck, as I've said all along.
Thank you.
Whatever I can do to help.
Thank you. I know it seems a little bit less exciting the second time around than the first time around.
No, doesn't seem less exciting. I'm ready to go out there, stand on the street with a sign, wave it around. I'm up for that.
Are you gonna like do those tricks like those the tax people who stand on the corner?
Like the sign spinners?
The sign spinners, yeah.
I suppose I could.
I wonder if we should make a sign.
I could learn how to do
with
that.
My name on it.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I mean, I have my tribe of people that are still in support of and I see people on the streets and they're excited to vote for me again. So.
All right. I'm just not seeing a lot of activity.
Well, there's not been a lot of activity from anyone, any of the candidates for any of them.
Yeah, there's a new person running against you and the other incumbent. I haven't seen anything from that person. I haven't seen a sign. I haven't seen any social media presence.
Right. I did see they attended our board meeting this past week.
Okay. Well,
not on camera, so I still don't know what they look like.
Does that matter?
No, I'm just saying. I think one of the things that I did on my campaign the first go around was to go to the meetings so that I could familiarize myself with what's happening. And, I was already on some committees, so I already kind of knew some of the workings of town.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well,
thank you for your offer.
Yeah.
To help. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I have to say there's been a lot of political activity on Facebook otherwise, not election related. Yeah. There are these town forums where people discuss politics, and it's become really interesting. As myself on Facebook in these forums, I feel very constrained.
Yeah.
Right? So I've created a number of fake profiles so I can give my actual opinions about things. I'm not going to say what those are here, but it's really interesting to me how fearful I fear of some of these wackadoos out there, mostly on the right, who express opinions that, are very much aligned with depriving people of human rights, depriving us of democracy, and how fearful I fear of doing that as myself. But I feel less fearful of it with a fake profile.
Well, I mean, our address is public, so it's not really that crazy.
Yeah. So anyways, I've been enjoying being able to go on these forums and express my actual opinions about things.
You're not a nice person.
That's great. Everyone should feel free to be their authentic self.
Should they?
I don't know. A lot of people out there.
I feel people hate me if they know my authentic self.
Huh.
You're not a nice person.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Well, you know me.
Yeah, I don't hate you.
Interesting. That's questionable.
Whether or not I hate you? What?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
So... All right, well, we'll see. I think once we get closer to this election, though, things might heat up.
Okay.
Out there.
We'll see.
For you and the other people running. We'll see. Okay. You said there's going to be a debate?
I don't think we ever had a debate. You usually have a candidate's night.
Oh, candidate's night.
Yeah. It's not so much a debate as a asking of questions.
Oh, yeah. The moderator comes and just asks questions.
Yeah.
Right? From the townspeople?
It's usually somebody from BCTV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So...
Okay.
I mean, and it's not just the select board that have open positions that people are running for. There's the school committee and planning board and a whole bunch of different things.
Well, that's the thing I noticed. People love to bitch about the fucking town and how they need this or they need that, and they don't volunteer for shit.
No, and they also don't pay attention to meetings either. So,
and then they shit all over the volunteers. This is me saying this, not you. Like we had one of those wackadoo attempts to overthrow our school committee here in our town earlier in the year. Thankfully, it was defeated. It was like one of those recall things. But those people who wanted to do that recall displayed a real disregard for the elected officials, the amount of work they do, and just what they've invested.
Yeah, a lot of time, energy, mental load in the head.
Yeah. But, they were taking their marching orders from Steve Bannon, who is telling people out there who, on the right, that this is what they have to do. This is part of a concerted strategy. Take over town governments and push conservative policies. And Bannon has been encouraging people to do that at the school board level for more than a year, since January 6th, since the insurrection. But, okay, well, good luck.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's not easy being a politician.
No.
I know that myself. I'm an elected official.
That is for sure.
Right. I've been doing it a little bit longer than you.
Great.
Yeah. And eventually you develop when it comes to criticism, you have to have a healthy dose of self-reflection and take in well-intentioned criticism. But as an elected official and as a leader, you get your share of people who tantrum at you, who say unflattering things about you in the press, in other places. Like I've been called a wild-eyed lunatic, right, by the people I deal with, right? And I've said it before here. I'm the co-president of a union, and I serve right now as president of that union in a different capacity too. So it's weird. I'm co-president and president, but
you're president again?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
I am. Yeah, I'm almost done.
I thought you finished.
No, it goes every other year. So I did it the year before last. Last year I was not president of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now this year I'm president again. But I'm also co-president of my chapter.
No, I know that part, but
Okay.
I didn't realize that you were president of the whole thing again.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Last July. July of 2021.
What?
Anyways, I'm almost done. So, anyways, I get a healthy dose of bullshit from people.
Right. When you run a re-election,
Yeah.
did you do stand-outs and put signs up?
No. We communicated to our membership, right? Who was running.
Right.
I made a candidate statement. And I ran.
Yeah.
That's it. And I won. That's it.
It sounds like my campaign's going to be.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's hope. But my larger point about that was, in addition to getting valid criticism from people, I get a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Tantruming, people yelling at me, calling me a socialist, people challenging me to fights in parking lots, people telling me I'm too negative, that I fight with the administration too much, that sort of stuff. But, when it comes to union work and workers' rights, you got to fight. And anyways,
right.
you got to fight
To
for your
party.
right. No, you got to fight for your right to work.
Ugh.
Anyways, some of these people have, called me, like I said before, a lunatic. Said very unflattering things about me. And that just comes with the territory. Comes with leadership. So, in some respects, you got to be like a duck. Whip out your corkscrew penis and fuck them all.
Oh my God, do ducks have corkscrew penises?
Yes, ducks do have corkscrew penises.
I thought it was pigs.
No, ducks have it too.
Is that true?
100% true. Yeah. Yeah. Because female ducks have a cork in their vagina and they're filled with wine.
Is that why they float around on the water?
Yes.
So ridiculous.
Yeah. But so that, anyways, be like a duck. Fuck them all with your corkscrew dick. That's what I say. Okay. Well, all right. That's enough about elections and politics, right?
And penises.
And corkscrew shaped penises. So, one thing I wanted to talk about, this will be a shorter episode because we're tired from all the traveling we've done for Easter and Passover. I had a question, and kind of as we're doing more, well, first a framing mechanism.
What's a framing mechanism?
You hate that term. You got mad at me earlier. We almost didn't record this podcast because I was talking about how I want to reintroduce a framing mechanism to the episodes that you and I do. And you got all mad and you're like, I don't know what a framing mechanism is. I have no idea. You've never used that word before, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's true.
And I got mad because I've used that term many, many times.
Sure, Jan.
So I explained it to you. So what is a framing mechanism?
Oh, you want me to regurgitate it back to you?
Yeah, sure. It's not regurgitating. I'm just...
You can tell us.
No, I want you to tell us.
Is this the quiz?
It's not a quiz.
It's the pop quiz.
It's not a pop quiz.
It feels like a pop quiz.
What's a framing mechanism?
What's a framing? It's a way to structure.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to do that list, right? What was that? The list for happiness?
Yeah, the 52 list.
Right. So what I decided I want to do, at least for a little while, is just ask a question every podcast. A question that I find interesting. And the first one is going to be, why are you yawning so much?
Just ignore my yawning. I'm fine.
So anyways, the one I want to do now is, what are your most common negative thoughts? So this might be like therapy. You know I love therapy. So that's what I wanted to have us discuss.
Okay.
What are your negative thoughts?
I have lots of negative thoughts.
Did you write them down like I asked you to?
No, I don't write things down. It's hard for me to write things down.
Okay. Well, you go first. What are your negative thoughts? Your most common negative thoughts?
That I'm fucking things up.
You're fucking things up. What does that mean?
Just, I have, like a lot of people, imposter syndrome.
Huh. I have that on my list too.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Say more about that if you want to.
More about imposter syndrome?
Yeah, or that you feel like you're fucking things up.
Well, it's like, like I work for myself and I put myself out there and, I take for granted the skill set I have a lot of time.
Okay.
And so, I have to go out, I have to market myself, I have to sell my services.
You sound like a... Go ahead.
What?
You said you have to sell yourself.
You know what I mean. I'm not a prostitute.
Okay.
But I have to make money, right?
That's what they say. People have to make money.
Yeah. So, you tell people, hey, I can do this for you and I can do that for you. And then you have to deliver on this and that, right?
Right.
And then if anything goes wrong in the this or that, sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming or negative. And then, you have to come to do a reality check. Like this happened to me today, right? Like I have a client who pays me to do...
Excuse me.
We're reintroducing burps apparently due to the podcast.
Go ahead.
So this client pays me to do a certain scope of work every month. But it's year end, right? For tax purposes, right?
Yeah.
There's like a little bit more work that needs to happen for year end. This person these people have an accountant who is asking additional questions that maybe I can't answer because they're not things that I work on per se. But then,
well, you're not an accountant.
Right. And then the client, is looking to me to help navigate those things. So I have to be very clear with my boundaries about my own skill set and what I can and cannot do for these people.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah. So that can sometimes feel a little bit.
Yeah, I guess I feel a different thing about that. I often feel other people think I'm a phony and that I don't belong where I am.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. So sometimes I feel like
well,
I'm not living up to what the expectation was,
Yeah. It's like when I step back and I think about it, I often say to myself, okay, I'm pretty sure like I'm smart enough to do this.
I'm good enough.
I'm good enough.
And gosh darn it, people like me.
Well, no, I don't think people like me. That's the thing. That's part of one of the negative thoughts I have. I'll read it from my list. It's that all of these people hate me.
Why does it have to be a list?
Huh? That's what I do. That's how I structure things. I put things in lists.
Okay.
But I often feel that way. And then sometimes I feel like people say things like little fucking jabs to insinuate that I don't belong where I am. Right? Or, somebody else deserves it more than me or is better than me at a particular thing. And all of that may be true.
I don't think it's necessarily
Oh, that's how I feel.
true. But I think you have to...
That's how I feel.
In life, right? You have to remember that everybody carries their own perception of the world, and everyone's perception is their own.
No, I think there are people
Perception.
out there with various axes to grind. And
No, but that's their perception, right? So, right, like, I'm just going to take us right back to LPV for a minute.
tell
Leadership
people
Pioneer Valley,
yeah.
which was a training program.
It's a year-long leadership program.
That you and I both went through separately.
Right.
But I remember them. It's just like for some reason I'm having a strong recollection of having this conversation about people's perceptions and how everyone perceives the world around them differently, right?
Yeah.
So there might be people out there who do have access to grind, but that's their perception is that they feel the need to have an axe to grind.
Yeah, but you know this. You're
hypersensitive.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, thank you. I'm a very sensitive person,
Right.
and I care very much what people, despite my therapist's best attempts, right? Like, I still care very much what I believe other people think about me. I want to be careful to say I can't really know what anybody thinks about me unless they say it. But people do when they say things that send indicators to what they think about you. In any ways.
But then again, right, it's how you...
Oh, it's my lens.
It's your lens, right?
No, it's my lens. It's my lens.
Exactly.
I'm insecure. I often feel like I'm the dumbest person in the room.
Which is also not true.
That's how I feel half the time.
I understand.
And I sit there and I get caught up in my own insecurity about that feeling. And then I'm like, I have a hard time talking. I have a hard time speaking up. I have a hard time breaking into a conversation. It's interesting. There are conversations. I'll just sit there and, I'm trying to get into the conversation. It'd be like half an hour and nobody leaves you space.
I've been in those situations.
And I'm not the type of,
I don't butt over people. Just like I did just now. I'm going to butt over you now.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm not, metaphorically speaking, the type of person, who has my dick and balls out and is just out to, fuck the world with my thoughts and my idea. And I don't know. That's how I feel. I feel like an imposter. I feel dumb. I feel like everybody else is smarter than me. And then I also feel like they think all those things about me. Constantly, I'm feeling that way.
I'm so sad for you.
Huh?
I feel so sad for you.
Wait, you just said you felt like you have imposter syndrome.
I do.
Oh, okay.
Not like
it's not that extreme.
No.
No.
No. No.
What other?
I have anxiety about certain situations. I'm non-confrontational. I don't like to have a differing opinion and express that opinion.
Right.
And if somebody's angry in front of me, like I don't like it.
Why don't you just picture everybody as me? And then you can just yell at them.
I don't yell at you. I think I'm pretty patient with you.
I know.
Okay. Don't give people this perception that I'm a shrew and I just yell at you all
I didn't say you were a shrew. If I wanted to say you were a shrew, I would say that.
Alrighty.
No. No, I think for the most part we are able to disagree relatively well and work through things.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
We try to.
I pout a lot.
You do. You do. You're like the queen of pouting. Oh, boy.
Oh, well, part of that is what I'm talking about, right?
You get very defensive.
Yeah, well, part of it is...
You shut down.
Yeah, this is part of...
your psychology.
My most common negative thought profile is just I feel people don't have any respect for me. Whose phone is that? Is that your phone?
My phone is upstairs, plugged in.
Ruining my podcast? I don't know what this is.
It might be my computer.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
I don't know why it's doing that.
Somebody's calling you and you don't have your computer set to be quiet.
I'm not at my computer. It should be quiet. It was not on.
Yeah, well, it must be.
All right. It's over now.
Well, until it happens again.
It might have been my father.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. Other negative thoughts you have that vex you on a continuous basis.
A negative thought. I feel like people don't like me.
Let's see. Do I have that one too? Yeah, I have on my list, all these people hate me. That's similar.
Yeah. I feel like people exclude me.
Yeah.
And then I always have to reset my thinking.
Yeah, the strange thing for me is I want to be excluded. Right? But then I get mad when I'm excluded.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Okay, so stay with me here.
You don't really want to do the things. You want to be asked, but not expected to go.
Yeah. I want to know that people are thinking about me.
Yeah.
Right? But the last thing on earth I want to do is go do anything.
Right.
Because I'm tired.
Right.
I have anxiety about situations.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I do want to be thought of.
Right.
But anyways, I do think most people hate me.
So sad.
You don't feel that way?
No.
Interesting.
No. I don't think people hate me.
Wait, isn't that what you just said?
No, it's not what I just said.
Oh, you said people, you're afraid people don't like you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, mine's worse. I feel like people actively hate me.
Like people, but then aren't they still thinking about you if they hate you?
Yeah, but that's not good. You don't want someone to be thinking about you and hating you.
That's just narcissistic thinking.
What do you mean?
You don't want people to, like, nobody's sitting around hating on you and thinking about you in that way. Like, oh, I hate that guy.
Oh, I think some people are. I do. But again, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just narcissistic thinking. It ties into my insecurity, though.
Yeah.
also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you feel like people don't like you and you want to be included.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry. What a downer this is.
Well,
this is the worst question.
You picked the topic.
I know. All right. What else did you have?
You talk more.
All right. I'm too fat. That's a common negative thought I have.
I think sometimes I could stand to lose a few pounds, but I never really think of myself as fat.
Yeah.
Until I have to put on a bathing suit and I get a picture of myself taken, and I'm like, oh.
Wait, you get a picture of yourself taken when you try on a bathing suit?
No, I'm just saying in general. Like, if I see a picture of myself where it's not so flattering.
Huh.
Like, because when I'm walking around, like, I don't feel large.
I don't think anyone does. You get used to the weight you carry. Do you know what I mean?
Is that true?
I think it is. And then you can't see it, you know?
Huh.
That's what I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like...
over this pandemic, I've put on 20 pounds that I'm like really struggling to lose. And I feel really self-conscious. Like I went to a work thing a couple of weeks ago, right? And I hadn't seen somebody for 2 years. I could see them looking me up and down. And like I could see I was talking to this person and I could see the thought running through their mind. Wow, he's really gotten fat.
That is your...
But it's not. Here's the problem.
Did the person say, oh, wow, look, you've gotten fat? Like, no.
They kept looking at different parts of my body and not at my face.
Maybe. Let's just try something on for a second.
Go ahead.
Maybe they were insecure and couldn't look at you in the eye, and they were searching for places to look, and it happened to feel like they were looking at parts of your body.
No, this person had no reason to be insecure in my presence. I just want to tell you, they were levels of power above me.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just telling you.
That is your lens. You are making a lot of assumptions there.
But my lens is
that's
also
your
insecurity.
No, but that's your insecurity speaking.
But also, the scale doesn't lie.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Right? The best indicator of weight gain is clothing. Okay. And I will also say that as long as you're healthy, what difference does it make?
I don't feel I'm healthy.
You exercise on a regular basis.
It's walking. That's not exercising.
It's still exercise.
Go on.
We stopped drinking. You don't smoke.
No, I don't.
Yeah. So, like, you're living your life.
But I weighed less when I was drinking.
It's because you were eating less.
So maybe I should start drinking again so that I eat less.
Maybe you should just not substitute alcohol with food.
I'm not substituting alcohol with food. I don't drink food at night.
Okay, so if you're eating more, you will gain weight.
Eating more than you burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what the problem...
What's the problem?
Is that you're likely eating more than you should
Goldfish?
be. Probably. Yeah.
Chips?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well...
all the snacks that you eat that I buy for children.
You just calling me a child?
No, I said I buy them for the children because we have growing teenagers, and constant feedback I get from everyone in the house is that they need more food, and so I try to buy them more food. But they are supposed to be consuming that food. That's all I have to say on the subject. We're not going to talk more about this. What's next?
All right, well, I still think I'm too fat. And that nobody could possibly, including you, find me pleasant to look at. That's just the simple fact of it. So, okay. I already said I feel like I'm the dumbest person in the room, right?
What other negative?
Do you ever like listen to people talk and you think, how did they come up with that idea? Like, how did they put those words together?
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting there just trying to think of anything. I'm like, I sit there and I watch these people talk and I'm like, they sound so smart.
You were on a call today,
Yeah.
right? It was a presentation being given.
Okay.
And I was in the car with you.
Yeah.
And I understood what they were saying, but like, I don't know how they put all those things together. And I was thinking to myself, I don't know who is listening to this and can understand what they're talking about.
I think the same thing too. Like, how do these people...
But that's their flippin' job.
Well...
You could talk about recording or anything that you're specialized in.
Yeah, but no one cares about that.
Well, yes, exactly.
Huh. Well, that's how I feel anyways, often. Like, I'm just sitting around all of these people who are way smarter than me, and I don't know how I got there.
Okay, so I'm just going to reiterate the conversation we had earlier.
We went through this imposter syndrome. I got it.
No, that's not what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say everybody has something that they specialize in, that they are have that under their belt, right?
Yeah.
And it's different for everybody. And so when you're talking to somebody who is well versed in one topic and you are not, it doesn't mean that you're stupid or not as smart as that person. It just means that they've spent more time studying or learning about that particular topic. It literally is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of what they have spent their time on.
Huh.
I'm gonna introduce a reframing of your mindset.
Yeah, but I also feel like I'm too old now.
That's never true. You just learned how to do all this podcast stuff.
Did I, though?
Oh my God. Somebody please help me.
That's how I feel. Too old.
You're not that old. I hate to tell you.
Well, all right. Let's see. What else is a common negative thought that I have? I already said this. I don't know what to say. I don't belong here. Is that the same? Did I already say that?
Where don't you belong?
That's imposter syndrome, I guess.
Pretty much.
I don't belong here. Maybe all of these are imposter syndrome. Here's one I haven't said yet. I'm going to die a horrible death soon. I think that all the time. Like, I've told you this before. Like, I'll be driving down the street, right? Looking up at the trees and thinking one of these branches is going to just fall and crush me.
That's your anxiety.
But I am plagued by it. Like, every time...
It's called anxiety. People are on medication for it, that type of...
last week, I had a pain near my bladder.
And you thought you had cancer.
I thought I had bladder cancer, so I started taking those cranberry pills you have for a UTI infection. I took those for like 6 days. And then I started drinking a gallon of water a day. It straightened me right out. Is it possible I had a UTI? Is that possible?
You need to stop self-diagnosing yourself.
Huh. You're not answering my question.
No, because you're being ridiculous. No, sorry. I'm sorry. That is the wrong thing to say to you.
Did not wipe my penis front to back.
So I'm going to just apologize to you because that was not fair.
What did you do?
I said that you were being ridiculous, but I shouldn't say that to you because that's your anxiety talking.
What's the difference between my anxiety and me? I'm just fixing your mic. You got to learn how to do this, okay? It's going to fall off of that. That's a $500 mic.
How is it going to fall off? Anything. I didn't touch it.
So anytime you move this, just reach up and tighten the screws, okay?
I literally didn't touch it.
You did. You didn't know you did, but you did. Okay. I'm not going to get angry with you about it. So what did you do that was unfair?
I said you were ridiculous.
Oh, that's not nice.
I just said I apologize.
Okay. I accept your apology.
Mm-hmm.
That's for your apology.
Mm-hmm.
What was I saying?
We were talking about your anxiety.
Oh, dying a horrible death soon. Yeah, in my UTI.
Yeah, and the fact that you've been walking around telling me that you are having neurological issues.
Yeah.
But yet won't go to the doctor to confirm or deny.
Well, I dropped a plate the other day, a greasy plate.
Slippery hands.
I've handled greasy plates in the past and have not dropped them.
That's called an accident. You know what an accident is? Something doesn't happen on purpose.
So when I start shitting my pants, is that just going to be an accident? What? We're getting older. We need to think about these things.
That's what the doctors are for.
Well, my doctor is leaving, and now I don't have one.
Well,
all my doctors.
So we're not going to go to the doctors for the rest of our lives.
All of my doctors keep leaving me.
It's not true. We've had 2 doctors, and the other doctor left decades ago.
I liked him.
Yeah, he was a good guy, but he left.
I was so concerned with impressing him all the time.
We haven't seen him in like years.
I know.
Where did he go?
He disappeared.
Oh.
He switched into taking care of old people. So maybe I'll circle back with him soon.
Ay. Well,
anyways, it's a constant thing. It plagues me.
Well, I think it's time to find a new doctor.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see what else. I said this one. I'm a phony. Do you have anything else? Other negative thoughts?
No, your negative thoughts outweigh mine.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
It means you have more on your list than I do.
So those are the only negative thoughts that you have?
I said a lot of different things.
All right. Let's see. I'm a failure. That's sort of like imposter syndrome, right? Yeah, a lot of these are related to what I feeling like I'm not the master of anything. Do you know what I mean? Like and I mean mastery in the sense I worked my whole life in a discipline, and that I am at the top of that thing, right? You know, like a surgeon who works for 30 years as a surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
I did this to myself. I fucked myself. Because when I was a medical writer, and I did that work for 11 years, I felt like I was a true master of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I also was unable to make parallel moves in the industry. I talked to you about this because they all required master's degrees.
Right, and now you have one.
Now I have one. But now comparable positions require doctoral degrees. Mm-hmm. And there's no fucking way I'm going and getting a doctoral degree. I already tried that. It wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I see colleges offering people with PhDs teaching gigs for no money.
Yes.
So fuck that. So I'm not wasting my time on a doctoral degree anymore. Anyway, so then I switched careers, and I was starting to get good at like my day job, and then I started doing the union stuff, and that's a whole other like discipline, you know. And I feel like I'm just scratching the surface and understanding all of that, and I've been doing it for 4 years.
Okay,
but I don't know if I have another 10 years in me.
What else are you doing?
I'm gonna die a horrible death.
Oh my God.
It all ties together. Do you see what I mean?
People.
So
SOS.
Then the last thing on here is a negative thought that I have. And this is, I guess, kind of related to nobody likes me. Or all these people hate me, is that nobody really loves me.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
I'm going to go to bed.
Why?
Because nobody loves you.
Oh.
Nobody loves
Don't you ever feel that way?
No. I know you love me. I know my family loves me. I know my children love me. What else do I need?
But you don't ever ask yourself, how can anybody love me?
No.
Huh.
Like, I don't even question that you love me.
do love you.
Okay.
Huh.
You question that I love you?
No, it's not that. It's that I can't believe you could. Do you know what I mean? I cannot be the only person who feels this way.
That's your insecurity.
I know. I talk about this in therapy all the time, but
You
apparently
need-
I'm not fixed.
You need somebody else.
No, he's good.
He's good. He's not pressing you.
No, he does. He does press me. But boy, a lot of it relates to how I was raised.
Yeah, you have PTSD.
Is that what it is?
Probably.
Well, it's something.
Mm-hmm.
And I often, I mean, I'm working on this in therapy. Like my therapist, really, we check in on this all the time, and it's like one of these things. He encourages me, to meet myself where I am and accept myself for who I am, and
you're good enough.
Accept that I can be loved for exactly who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand that. I hear those words. I hear myself saying them.
You should do that mantra.
But how
I'm
do
good
I...
enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me.
I'll ask him this.
And do you reflect on the fact that they made an SNL sketch about somebody who felt that way, that means that you are not the only person in the universe who feels that way?
No, what I reflect on is they think those people should be made fun of.
No, that's not the point.
And that we're weak, and... I mean... Maybe I am the only person who thinks this way.
That's not true.
And feels this way. But I'm sitting here at 48 years old.
It never goes away.
Why doesn't it go away? It should go away.
It's never going to go away. And you want to live forever. So I don't understand.
I do want to
I don't
live
understand
forever.
that dichotomous thinking, because I'm like looking forward to when I don't have to worry about these things anymore.
Well, maybe I'll fix it. If I have infinity time. What's that called? Eternity? If I have eternity, I'll fix it. Maybe in the year 3000.
Oh my God.
I'll be able to...
This is like when you guys...
love myself.
When you and Ted have those conversations about a nuclear warhead hitting.
Yeah.
And I say I just want to lay on the ground and die.
Right. I want to survive so I can continue to be miserable.
It makes no sense to me at all.
No, I just want to survive.
Meantime, I'm just like, okay, I'm ready for it to be over.
I know. I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say either.
Anyway, so that's it. That's it. That's my list.
Great.
No one can love me.
Love it.
No one really loves me. So.
Okay. Sure thing, Jan.
All right. Well, that's it. The last thing I wanted to just talk about real quick is a movie review. We saw...
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
What's it called again?
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
It has what's her name in it? Giorgio?
No, Michelle Yeoh. Who is Captain Giorgio on
Giorgio, that's
Discovery.
who it is. It has
Yeah.
Giorgio in
But
it.
her name is Michelle Yeoh.
She's in everything now.
She's not in everything.
No, I saw a list of stuff she's going to be in.
Oh.
She's going to be in like tons of stuff coming
She's
up.
amazing.
But she's everywhere now. She's very, very good. She was in that giant panda movie. She was the giant panda.
No, she was the grandmother.
No, she was the mother.
No, the mother was Sandra Oh.
Oh. Sandra Oh.
Yes.
Okay, she was the grandmother.
She was the grandmother.
Well, that makes sense. She's old.
Ugh.
But she's awesome.
And
I
she's
love her.
awesome at Discovery.
I didn't know which panda she was, okay? Lay off. Discovery,
Anyhow.
yeah, she's really good in that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a spin-off for that. So she was in this Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, and then also in that movie is the man who played Data in the Goonies.
He was also
He was in Indiana Jones.
short stuff
Yeah.
from Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and it also had that guy who was in
Which I'm
Big
gonna
Trouble in Little China.
Which I'm going to be the one to point out was incredibly racist.
Big Trouble in Little China?
No, maybe that was too, but Indiana Jones and the Temple
Yeah,
of
they
Doom.
were. Everything was.
So anyways, let's go back to Giorgio.
You know who else was in it?
What?
that kid who was in Glee. All right.
I don't know, kid from Glee. Who's that?
No, I can't remember his name. He was the dancer.
All right, let's leave that aside.
Anyways, the movie was excellent. It made me bawl.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no, it literally made me bawl at the end.
It involves...
it's a multiverse.
Michelle Yeoh, is that her name?
Yo.
Michelle Yeoh gets involved with a multiverse type of scenario, and she's traveling through all of these multiverse existences, and it's funny. It's
a comedy.
It's poignant. You cried.
I cried so hard.
It was really, really good. Well, there was a whole like mother-daughter storyline through that.
It was also like
is that what got you?
Husband and wife situation.
Oh, is that what got you too?
No, it was more the mother-daughter stuff.
Oh.
But like, it was like, so good.
Yeah. And they're, yeah, I don't want to say any more. It just was so good. It's definitely worth seeing.
Mm-hmm. It's long, but it's really good.
Yeah. I do want to say one thing. So, and I'm sorry, this is not a commentary on Amherst Cinema. Okay. Amherst, Massachusetts, where we saw the movie. It's a small, like, independent theater. It's member supported. And if you're listening to this, you should support them. Mm-hmm. They also fed us a podcast guest once. Mm-hmm. What was his name? Greg Sestero from The Room, right? Hollywood actor type anyways. So thank you, Amherst Cinema, for that. We enjoy going to into your establishment and seeing movies there. Now, so this is post-pandemic, and I know people are just getting used to living in the world, but something happened at Amherst Cinema that I still can't believe I witnessed. So we were standing outside in the concession line. We had purchased our tickets, and we were waiting at the desk. This woman, I'm going to make some assumptions about their gender, but this woman comes marching up to the concession stand, butts in front of us. You know, we were sitting there waiting to talk to somebody, and she says to the person working there,
"Your seltzers really should come with a warning."
He stares at her. He goes, "Well, what do you mean?" She goes,
"I opened it and it sprayed everywhere. All of my stuff is wet."
He said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry. That tends to happen with carbonated beverages. Okay, yeah."
She said, "Well, you really need a sign or something. I've never had one like this."
Right. And at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go into the theater. I can't deal with this. Right. Because I think she demanded a new popcorn or something because her popcorn got wet. And you went to the bathroom. And so I go into the theater. I sit down. I find a seat. And she comes parading in with her new popcorn and a new bottle of seltzer. And she sits down and she goes and starts crowing on to the person she was with about how she told them and they're going to put up a sign about their seltzers exploding. And she's just so proud of herself for being a rude fucking piece of shit to this poor guy at the counter. Can you imagine such a thing?
No. Seltzer.
Can you
as bubbles.
Can you imagine going through this world? Right? Getting up to this point, this person, she looked like she was in her 30s or 40s. Can you imagine making it to 40, having an unopened bottle of seltzer in your hand and not knowing how to navigate that without it going everywhere? And being angry because it sprayed on you? I can't imagine the entitlement.
It's carbonated.
Everyone knows how to open a bottle of seltzer.
It's got electrolytes.
You twist the cap a little bit. It hisses, right? You test it. There's a test you do. Okay, all right. You throttle it back a bit. It's feeling forceful, right? It's like... Ooh. Throttle it back. Close it up. Open it a little. little more. Little bit more.
Oh, then you can open it.
Then you can open it. Anybody who has walked on this fucking planet for 40 years should know how to open a bottle of seltzer. Especially that woman.
And that's where we should end the podcast.
Anyways, I was outraged by this behavior.
Yes, I know. You were on and on and on for days about it.
And I want us to go back into lockdown so I don't have to deal with these people.
All right.
I can't believe you're not madder about this.
It's the most ridiculous. I don't know why you care so much about this.
Because it was outrageous behavior and everybody was acting like it was okay. I really almost had a Larry David moment. I wanted to turn around and say what I just said to you, to her. Like, how did you make it to this age and not know how to open a carbonated beverage? And you're so absorbed with yourself, you're going to demand that this theater put up a sign because you got a little fucking seltzer on your leg and in your popcorn? Fuck you, lady! That's what I wanted to say.
I know.
All right. You don't want to hear it.
I love you.
All right. Well, people, we hope you had a happy Easter, a happy Passover. Hope you enjoyed hearing about my negative thoughts.
It's so entertaining.
Stomping Jen's 2 negative thoughts.
I had more than 2.
You had 2?
No,
you had way less than me. That's a good sign. I'm going to give you this. Whoops.
That was a negative sign.
That was a negative thought sign.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm happy that you don't have as many negative thoughts as me.
We have to balance each other out.
Yep. I'm glad that I'm the one who was severely abused as a child, and now I'm walking around with PTSD, and it's not you.
Lovely.
So let's... I don't know why I can't hit the right button.
It must be your neurological
I think it is my neurological problems. Let's see if I can hit the positive chime again. I can't do it.
You're doing that on purpose.
Right. There we go. Okay.
All right, friends.
All right. Well, listen, if you're hearing this for the first time, we're going to ask you to please subscribe to our podcast. We have lots of really good guests coming up. We've just completed some really awesome interviews. Those are in the pipeline. Be on the lookout for those. And then, of course, there's going to be more of this, whatever the fuck this is.
Mm-hmm. Not negative thoughts. I think next time we're going to do positive thoughts.
Well, you
about
picked
ourselves.
the fucking question then.
I just did. Positive thoughts.
All right. Well, take care, everybody. Be well, and until the next time.
Bye now.
Bye now.
This world of ours, ever growing smaller, must avoid becoming a community of dreadful fear and hate. Those who have freedom will understand also its heavy responsibility. That all who are insensitive to the needs of others will learn charity, and that the sources, scourges of poverty, disease, and ignorance will be made disappear from the earth. And that in the goodness of time, all peoples will come to live together in a peace guaranteed by the binding force of mutual respect and love. I shall never cease to do what little I can to help the world advance along that road.